My husband's brother's wedding planner called. Your invitation has been cancelled, but they will be keeping the money you gave. My voice trembled, my heart was already broken, and I only said, I was standing in my kitchen. Through the window of our suburban Ohio home I could see the quiet street out front. My phone was on speaker. On the other end was a woman who introduced herself as Karen, the wedding planner. Her voice was professionally polite but cold. She said the guest list had been updated. My name and my children's names had been removed. I asked, why? She paused and then said, that was the family's decision. And the amount you contributed for the venue and catering will not be refunded. I gripped the counter so hard my fingers hurt. I said, that money came from me. The check was written from my account. She replied, I've only been informed that the funds are non-refundable at this point. Then she apologized and ended the call. I immediately called my husband, Mark. He was at work. I told him what had just happened. He said, I'll talk to you later. I'm in a meeting. His voice was tight. I texted his mother. No response. I opened my banking app and pulled up the transaction again. $25,000. I had taken that from my personal savings because Mark said helping his brother was what family does. If you've ever felt shut out or betrayed by the people closest to you, stay with me and subscribe. You won't believe how this unfolds. That evening, photos from the wedding rehearsal were already being shared in our neighborhood Facebook group. The venue was the same one I had paid the deposit for. The decorations were exactly what I had sent Karen on my Pinterest board. I zoomed in on one of the pictures. A sign near the entrance read, "Sponsored by Mark and Family." I understood what was happening. The next morning I called the venue directly. The manager confirmed the booking was under my brother-in-law's name, but the payment had come from my check. He said if I wanted he could email me copies of the contract and receipts. I said, please send them. Within 10 minutes, everything was in my inbox. The contract was signed by Mark. The payment had cleared from my account. That night I confronted Mark at our kitchen table. I laid the printed documents in front of him. He said, it was temporary. We were going to settle it later. I asked, why was I removed from the guest list? He avoided eye contact. Mom thought you'd cause drama. I said, I funded your brother's wedding. And you cut me out. He didn't answer. He couldn't look at me. That was the moment I made my decision. The wedding was 2 days away. I called Karen again. I told her I understood I wasn't on the guest list. That was fine. But I would be attending as a sponsor. I forwarded her the receipts and my bank statement and said that as the person who paid for the venue and catering, I expected to be acknowledged publicly. She resisted at first, then said she would speak with the groom. That evening my mother-in-law called. She was furious. Why are you creating a problem? She demanded. I replied calmly, I'm not creating a problem. I'm reclaiming my name. Either the money is returned, or the truth is told in front of everyone. She hung up on me. On the day of the wedding I dropped my kids off at my sister's house. I wore a simple navy suit. I drove myself to the venue. Security stood at the entrance. I gave my name. The guard checked the list. My name wasn't there. I showed him the receipt. He called the manager. The manager recognized me and nodded. She can come in. The hall was full. There was a Texas-style barbecue station, a DJ, string lights across the ceiling. I stood near the back for a few minutes. Then the MC picked up the microphone and began thanking sponsors. I walked straight toward the stage. My heart was pounding but my steps were steady. I asked the MC for the microphone. He looked confused. I said, I just need 2 minutes. The room went quiet. I'm the person who paid $25,000 for this venue and the catering, I said. I have the receipts. But I was removed from the guest list. I held up the printed copies. People started whispering. Mark was standing near the stage. His face had gone pale. His mother stood up from her seat. I continued, if my name is not acknowledged as the sponsor, I will dispute the payment immediately. I will also file a fraud report with my bank. I looked directly at the venue manager. He was listening carefully. The entire room was silent. My brother-in-law walked up to me. Why now? He asked under his breath. I answered, because you cut me out. After a tense 5-minute discussion between the manager, the groom and Karen, the MC returned to the microphone. He announced there had been a misunderstanding regarding sponsorship and that the primary contributor deserved recognition. My name was said clearly. No one applauded, but everyone was watching. I took the microphone one more time. "I'm withdrawing my gift," I said. I informed the manager that the remaining balance for the dessert bar, which had not yet been processed, was no longer authorized. According to the contract, final approval for that payment required my consent. I did not give it. The DJ music stopped. The cake cutting was delayed. Guests began murmuring. I handed the microphone back and walked toward the exit. No one stopped me. When I got home, I filed a formal dispute with my bank. I attached the receipts and a short video clip showing that my name had been deliberately removed from sponsorship recognition. 3 days later, the bank issued a temporary credit. 2 weeks later, the full amount was permanently returned to my account due to misrepresentation and unauthorized use of funds. Mark tried to talk to me. He said I embarrassed him in front of everyone. I replied, "You embarrassed me inside our own home. The difference is that now everyone saw it." That same month, I opened a separate bank account. I consulted an attorney. We reviewed our shared finances in detail. I made it clear that no future family expenses would ever come out of my personal savings again. My mother-in-law blocked me. I blocked her too. A few weeks later, I was shopping at Costco when a neighbor approached me. She said she had been at the wedding and saw everything. "You did the right thing," she told me. I simply nodded. I wasn't interested in explaining myself anymore. I had already done what needed to be done. I'm standing in the same kitchen now. The same window. The same street outside. The difference is that my accounts are protected and my boundaries are clear. If anyone ever tells me that I should tolerate anything for the sake of family, my answer is simple. No. I didn't scream that night. I didn't cry in front of them. I just held up the receipt and told the truth. And when the truth is spoken into a microphone, the voice doesn't have to be loud to be strong. If this story moved you or reminded you of your own strength, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Your support truly means more than you know and helps these real, powerful stories reach others who need them. Thank you for reading, for caring, and for being part of this journey.